Okay, step number one on the pegboard. What I want to have you do, after I hand out your evaluation, I want you to take a look at the evaluation. I'm going to review it real quick just so you know what's going on. Please make sure you put your name and your class period on it. Next thing that you're going to do, you're going to make some sketches, just several rough sketches of what you think you might want your pegboard to look like. Remember, you're looking for a pretty basic design, because remember, when you get this design cut out, you have to sand it and router it, so that's one of those things. This piece right here, the materials calculations, this is just a way to calculate how much your pegboard is going to cost, because after you build it, you're going to want to take it home and use it. So don't worry about that. I will help you take care of that at the end of the unit, so don't worry about that. The pattern is, what I mean by the pattern is just, it's a half a piece of paper that's dividing your pegboard in half, and it's just half of the design that you're going to want to trace onto your board so you can flip it the other way and have a nice concentric design even on both sides. So that's what I mean by the pattern there. We'll talk about that a little bit more. I'm going to grade you on the layout requirements as we go through. Pattern design match. I will look at your pattern. Remember, you have to save your pattern, because I will be looking at your pattern to make sure that your design matches the pattern that you made. Your lamination cutout, that means on this someplace you're going to have some kind of a design, and it can be laser engraved cut out, but a lamination, some kind of design cut out and physically glued onto your board. That's what I mean by the lamination. Edge cut and smooth edge sanding, that means after you cut these edges with the jigsaw, just like you did on your CO2 car, you've got to smooth those edges, because you're going to have to run a router design around the perimeter of this board. So it's going to be necessary for you to smooth those edges. Board lamination and flat surface sanding, that means your lamination, did you get these glued up edges nice and tight, and do you have your board sanded all the way from 80, 100, 150, and 220 grit. It has to be sanded down to 220 grit before it's considered finished. Hanger peg layout, that means any pegs that you put on here, I want to see specific measurements. I will not accept just random layout. As a matter of fact, it says it right there on the evaluation, no random layout for those peg holes. I have to see on your drawing that I'm going to demonstrate in a few minutes some specific layout. And hanger for your hanger pegs, and I'm also want to see a couple of hanger holes up here, and they will be countersunk. I'll explain how to do that in the shop demo. And then stain finish, you got to have 2 coats. You got to do 1 coat, wait at least a half hour, 45 minutes, and then put a 2nd coat on. And then a total, this is 100 points. You got to do a glue up from at least 3 pieces of wood. In my drawing, I'm going to do 4 or 5, because I want to do something a little bit different this time. Your glue up has to be made from at least 2 different types of wood. On this one in the past, I have done walnut, I have done maple, and I have done walnut, because I like that dark, light, dark contrast in the woods. These hanger holes have to be measured out a specific distance. Lamination cut out, I'm going to be looking at that. And then all of your edges sanded and smooth. Okay, so that's part 1, just reviewing the evaluation.